I know, looking back on this now, some people might say my behavior was toxic. Maybe it was petty, maybe it was vengeful, but honestly, I still really like this story. It brings a smile to my face every time I think about it. This happened a while back, before I really knew about vetting men properly or understanding the red flags of modern dating. I was naive. I was hopeful, and I thought I had found a diamond in the rough. I started dating this guy who, for all intents and purposes, seemed absolutely great. He was the textbook definition of a gentleman. He would open doors for me. He would offer to help me with random chores around my apartment without me even asking. He was attentive. He listened. He gave me that good guy energy that makes you let your guard down. It was all that jazz, the flowers, the sweet texts, the consistency. I thought, finally, someone normal. We were a few weeks into the relationship, and things were moving at a comfortable pace. Because things were going so well, I invited him to stay at my place for a few days. It felt like a natural step. Domestic bliss, right? The first couple of nights were fine. We watched movies, cooked dinner, and it felt like we were really connecting. But then came the night that changed everything. It was the middle of the night. The house was pitch black and dead silent. I woke up with that urgent need to use the bathroom. You know how it is. You try to ignore it, but eventually you have to get up. I tried to be as quiet as possible. I slid out from under the covers, trying not to disturb him. Accidentally, I bumped the mattress a little too hard, and he stirred. I froze for a second, but he seemed to settle back down. I tiptoed out of the room. Now, the layout of my apartment is important here. The door to the bedroom is positioned behind the head of the bed. This means that if you are standing in the doorway, looking into the room, the people in the bed have their backs to you. They cannot see you unless they physically turn their bodies around to look at the door. So, I went to the bathroom, did my business, and washed my hands. As I was walking back down the hallway, I realized I had left my phone on the nightstand. I wanted to check the time, so I headed back into the bedroom. I assumed he had fallen back asleep immediately after I left. I crept up to the open doorway, moving silently on the carpet so I wouldn't wake him up again. But he wasn't asleep. The room was dark, but there was a distinct blue-white glow illuminating the bed. It was the light of a smartphone screen. He was lying on his side, facing away from the door, holding his phone right in front of his face. I stood there in the doorway, hidden by the shadows, just watching him. At first, I thought maybe he was just checking the time or answering an emergency text. But then I saw the motion. Swipe left, swipe left, swipe right. My stomach dropped. I knew that motion. Everyone knows that motion. He was on Tinder. I stood there, frozen in disbelief. Here was this perfect gentleman, lying in my bed under my roof, swiping on dating apps while I was in the bathroom. I watched him for what felt like an eternity, but it was probably only 30 seconds. He wasn't just mindlessly swiping, either. I watched him match with someone. Then I watched his thumbs fly across the screen. He was typing out a message to a new match immediately, but it got worse. He closed that chat and opened another one, a girl he had clearly been talking to previously. I was close enough to see the chat bubbles. He typed out a message asking if she wanted to meet up. The audacity was suffocating. He was literally arranging a date with another woman while staying at his girlfriend's house. That was it. The shock turned into pure, white-hot rage. I didn't step into the room, I just spoke from the darkness of the doorway. "What the fuck are you doing?" My voice wasn't a whisper, it was cold and loud. He jumped so hard I thought he was going to fall off the bed. He whipped his body around, terror written all over his face. The blue light of the phone cast spooky shadows on his guilty expression. He immediately scrambled to lock his phone and shove it under the pillow. I wasn't, it's not," he stammered. He tried to convince me he wasn't doing anything. He literally looked me in the eye and said, "You must have seen it wrong. I was just checking my email." He actually tried to gaslight me immediately. He even let out this nervous, pathetic little laugh. I wasn't having it. "I stood here and watched you swipe," I screamed. "I saw you message her." I didn't let him explain. I didn't want to hear his excuses about being bored or insecure. I kept screaming at him, "Get out. Get your stuff and get the hell out of my house." It was the middle of the night, but I didn't care. He tried to argue, tried to play the victim, but my rage was a physical force pushing him out the door. I kicked him out. I slammed the door behind him and locked it. I was shaking. I was hurt. But mostly, I was furious that I had wasted my time on someone so disrespectful. But kicking him out wasn't enough. The next morning, the anger hadn't faded. It had calcified into a need for justice. I called my girlfriends. We gathered together and I spilled the tea. I told them everything, the swiping, the messages, the pathetic look on his face. We decided that he needed to be taught a lesson. He thought he was a player. Fine, we would play him. We opened a bottle of wine and got to work. We created a fake Tinder account. We used photos of a girl who was exactly his type, someone arguably out of his league, but still realistic enough to be believable. We crafted a bio that was flirty and low maintenance. The perfect bait for a guy like him. We started swiping. It didn't take long. Within minutes, we found his profile. He was back on the app, shamelessly looking for his next supply. We swiped right. It was a match. He messaged us almost instantly. It was genuinely pathetic how fast he took the bait. We started chatting with him, playing the part of the interested, eager girl. After only an hour of talking, he made his move. He wanted to meet up that very night. He was desperate. We spun him a story. "I'm actually at work right now," we typed. "I work in that village nearby." We picked a location that was about a 40-minute drive from where he lived. It was a considerable commute for a late-night hookup, but we knew he would do it. "I get off at 10 p.m., we told him. "But I don't have a ride home." Like a shark smelling blood, he offered to pick us up. "I can come get you," he said. "No problem," we agreed. We gave him the address of an empty parking lot in the middle of nowhere. At 9:50 p.m., my friends and I were glued to our phones. He texted, "I'm on my way." He actually drove 40 minutes late at night to a random village. He arrived at the parking lot. He texted, "I'm here, where are you?" We didn't reply immediately. We let him sit there. 5 minutes passed. 10 minutes. He texted again, "Hello, I'm in the parking lot." We let him wait for a full hour. According to his messages, he was just sitting in his car in the dark, waiting for a girl who didn't exist. Finally, we decided to throw him a bone to keep the game going. "Oh my God, I am so sorry," we typed. "My phone died and I couldn't find a charger." My friend ended up giving me a ride home because I didn't think you were coming. It was a flimsy excuse, but desperate men believe what they want to believe. "I feel terrible," we added with a winky face emoji. "I will definitely make it up to you." He bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. He actually apologized to us for missing us. He drove 40 minutes back home, empty-handed but still hopeful. And he still did not realize he was being played. The next day, we escalated the plan. We set up a meeting for the evening. We found a random address in a large building complex in the city. We told him, "Come over tonight, I have the place to myself." Then, we added a request. "Can you pick up a pizza on your way? I'm starving." We figured if we were going to waste his time, we might as well make him waste his money too. He agreed instantly. "Sure, what toppings do you want?" We gave him a complicated order. My friend and I went to the location. We parked down the street, far enough away to not be seen, but close enough to watch the entrance of the building. We watched him pull up. He got out of the car, holding a steaming hot pizza box. He looked confident. He fixed his hair in the reflection of the car window. He walked up to the building and started looking for the apartment number we gave him. He knocked on the door. "Thank God it was an empty apartment," I whispered to my friend. We watched from afar, laughing our asses off. He stood there, knocking. He waited. After a few minutes, our fake Tinder phone buzzed. "Hey, I'm at the door." I'm knocking, but no answer. We waited a moment before replying. "OMG, sorry, I'm in the toilet, just a second," he replied. "Okay, no worries. Let me know when to come in." He stood there holding the pizza. 5 minutes passed. He texted again. Hey, the pizza is getting cold. Everything okay? We stifled our laughter and typed back. I'm so sorry I'm pooping. My stomach is really acting up. Please be patient. We wanted to see how low he would stoop. Can you imagine being so desperate for sex that you are standing at some random dude's door, holding a pizza, waiting for a girl you've never met to finish pooping? It was disgusting. It was tragic. And yet there he was. He didn't leave. He leaned against the wall. He checked his phone. He waited. He stayed there for another 30 minutes. 30 minutes of standing in a hallway while thinking his date was having a bathroom emergency. Finally, we decided the game was over. It was time for the kill shot. We sent him one final message from the fake account. Actually, I'm not coming to the door, he typed back immediately. What? Why? We replied. Because you are a disgusting cheater. We know what you did. You deserve to be tormented like this. We could almost see his reaction from where we were parked. The realization must have hit him like a freight train. Please leave the pizza at the doorstep, we added. Consider it a fee for wasting everyone's time. Sadly, he didn't leave the pizza. He stormed back to his car, pizza in hand, looking furious and humiliated. He peeled out of the parking lot and sped away. We laughed until our sides hurt, but we weren't done yet. We went back to the Tinder profile. We took screenshots of everything, the chats where he tried to meet up, the timestamps, everything. We and all the girlfriends in our group mass-reported his Tinder account. We flagged him for harassment, fake profile, everything we could think of. A few hours later, we checked. His account was gone, banned. He lost his main source of validation. He lost his dignity. And he lost a lot of gas money. I know it was toxic. I know two wrongs don't make a right. But watching him stand there holding that pizza, realizing he had been played by the very woman he tried to cheat on, it was the best closure I could have ever asked for.